Um, I'm juggling a few things here. I wanted to just say that I haven't handed out this paper yet, and I really want everybody to get that. So I'll get it passed around. That's on emergency mode, so I forgot about that before. There's a pile of them just down there, yeah. And then this is just an indication of what's coming, because this next bit has been getting developed over the last, it's been developed over the last few years, but the last couple of months have been really pivotal, and I've done quite a lot of presentations on this on Butcher's paper just recently, and now we've got it on PowerPoint. So what we're talking about here is getting our society to yes, to give our government permission that they can move forward into the transition. Not just permission, we want obviously also to give them a message that if they don't make that move, then their chances of being re-elected diminish. And we're probably talking, there are 3 federal elections in this time frame, so we can sort of work around that. We know it's probably not going to be the first federal election, but then the one after that's too far off. So we need something to happen in between, and this is where the groundswell needs to tip the government. We don't need 100% of people to become active, fortunately, but we do need 100% of people to hear about it and know about it in order to optimise the reach, and that's what this is about. So again, it's in the time frame that we've been talking about, and this is basically saying the next 10 years are crucial, and the next 2 years of the next 10 years are the most crucial to get us started. We can't spend 6 or 8 years getting to yes, and then we don't have enough time in the window we've got. So this is one model of mobilising whole communities. It's one we've developed up and we're testing out. There are other models, and there will be other models, and there need to be many, many other models. Part of what I'm doing in my work is looking for people who have got strategic thinking leanings, and particularly looking for people who are able to look at macro level things, meta strategies, and keep an eye on the micro where it plugs into the community as well. And that's not everybody. So they're the people that are going to be working on developing the architecture of this transition, which comes before the actual design and the project management to make it happen. So we need the architecture in place. This is one model. It started with this middle bit, the blitz step.
How do we become members of the sustainability?
Okay, we do need your help and your input. And can I give you a membership application form right now? Because we've got a big bundle of them up on the desk, and that is one really tangible way of helping to resource it, but also being part of this dialogue and work, if you want to. So the Blitz, I'm going to go into all details about this, but basically we started with the Blitz, and then some of the hurdles that people threw up have helped develop this further. So that's why listening to the hurdles is very valuable for getting the right results. Over here we've got ongoing assessment, evaluation and tweaking, and so it's a work in progress. That's also where the collecting the information and disseminating it, getting it out widely has to happen, and including to the international discourse, so that we can find others who are working on similar things elsewhere. They don't know about us because we're not out there visibly yet. We don't know about them because maybe we haven't looked there yet, or perhaps they're not visible yet either. But there'll be others. So in the preparation phase before the Blitz, we are working from the basis of a guiding team. The guiding team brings together the people in the community, and we're going to have, Cindy will tell us some first-hand experience of this shortly. And so those people are, initially we're identifying what we call T10 ready, transition decade people who are ready to go now. There are others in the movement who may well be T10 ready, but we don't know about it yet. And there are others in the movement who aren't quite focused on the crucial decade yet, but they're doing the same work, but not in the same time frame. So developing the guiding team and working with process values, principles and structures, which I'll show you in a sec. Now, the key thing here is that through all those silos that Cam was mentioning, one of the things, we've got a fractured movement, and one of the things that we've got is argument in the movement about ways of doing things, targets, etc. And really it's a disrespect of work that people are doing. So we need to have a facilitated process where people can become very familiar with each other. If I tried to talk to you about, half a dozen different organisations that I think I know quite well in Victoria, I actually would probably get stuck after about 3 sentences. So I got the gist, but how much do I really know about what they're doing, particularly what they've done in the last 12 months? Some of my knowledge might be older than that, and I have no idea what they're thinking about in terms of moving forward. That information isn't being shared, and we need that familiarisation now, and from that we get the deep respect and then the commitment to work together, because this model is about multi-organisational collaboration. This group then does some work, doing some planning and working out the coordination of the outreach in the Blitz. They do some mapping of organisations that are out there, putting together all the information they can and keeping track of it. Just prioritising, developing some early support from key stakeholders, including media perhaps, and maybe local government. And they look at the capacity for growth of the organisations that are going to get involved, because the Blitz is going to create an upsurge of interest. And that upsurge of interest will translate to demands back onto all these organisations that are working out there in the community. We know in SLF that the festival raises enthusiasm, creates an upsurge of interest. We can barely manage it after the festival. We're exhausted, we don't have the resources, and people come and say, I want to get involved, and we can hardly manage it. So an upsurge of interest can be a risk factor unless it's planned for and resourced, and we need to work that out. Just so you know, this has come from the SLF ethos, which is a document which is available on our website. We are aware of the need for resources. The second phase is the Blitz, and that's about reaching and from the reach connecting, and then from the connection engaging as many people as possible. So it's optimising the engagement. It's obviously using all these different ways so that everyone everywhere gets to hear about the great transition or the transition decade, whatever the community wants to badge it, or maybe we badge it. Everyone everywhere gets to hear about it from more than one direction, in their letterbox, from the school, the service club, the local government, on the radio, street stalls, whatever, over a 3-month period. Okay. Oh, sorry. Then after that 3-month period, and we made it 3 months because we think that realistically for organisations to do this, they're going to not be able to sustain it themselves longer than 12 weeks. They can plan for 12 weeks. This is really working hard and collaboratively, and then we move into consolidation mode so that the upsurge of interest is then bedded down and captured and harnessed in the community. And that means training people in how to set up organisations, how to set up websites, how to recruit, and importantly how to maintain volunteers, etc. So this is about building engagement. We create the buzz. We want everyone everywhere to get to yes. Guiding team, looking at emergency mode, innovation mode, saturation mode, active initiators, multi-organisational collaboration. Step 3, there are conduits, because from that active initiators group out to the wider movement. The wider movement is huge, so we need conduits. Maybe it's people in energy, people in water, different sectors, different networks. And then to the whole sustainability movement, who want to be part of the saturation mobilisation and the transition decade campaign to restore a safe climate and sustainable environment. We're looking at this Blitz thing taking place in about 11 months. From woe to go, but then there's an ongoing build-up, so that we start off during the preparation time. We've got a small base of people who are highly active and working in this frame. The Blitz raises them. The consolidation further captures more people coming on board, and it keeps going. So for a population of 350,000, we'd be looking at optimising engagement to about 50,000 within 2 years. That's a 1-to-7 ratio.